It's the insult. People get that right. And then I don't know what they do for the next one. But I do this.
Okay, so Jake Lee was definitely one of the most creative 80s guitarists. He did so many things that were just different from everybody else. And I wanted to show you one of my favorite licks of his that everybody seems to play wrong. So about a month ago, I got my Jake Lee Super Strat and I wanted to make some videos about it, but more importantly than that is I got you guys one as well from the awesome people at Sweetwater. So if you haven't entered the giveaway yet, make sure you check that out. I'll link it down below. You can check out my video review of this guitar. And if you would, do me a huge favor and hit subscribe. It's a great way to support the channel. And if you would, check out my brand new mini course, the Pentatonic Box Breaker Workshop. It's all right there. Help you get out of those boxes. Oh, I almost forgot. If you guys want the tabs for this, I will link that down below as well. So look, tabs, giveaway, guitar, Jake Lee. Come on. So this lick is really, really cool. I'm gonna show you the section that Jake says a lot of people play wrong, and once you hear it the right way, I kind of can't unhear it. I'm like, oh man, it makes it sound, imagine that, more like Jake. So the first part is this. So the first two is the ones that he says everybody gets right. It looks like this. So those are the two that everyone gets right. And already there's a pretty cool thing happening here. I love whenever you get notes that rub and kind of clash together. So the first one's nice, clean, and pristine. But once you get this pattern down, it's actually the easiest one to do, but it teaches you the sequence right away. So it kind of sets you up for all the other ones. Now we're going like this. We're gonna go 13, pull off to 12 on the B string. Then you go to 14 on the G, and then you go back to 12 on the B. Now you're gonna go back to that 13, and you're gonna do 13 pull off 12 again, but you do that twice. So back to 14 on the G, and then back to that 12. So you have. Now you speed it up. Now you do the double 13 12 twice. So you have single, double, double. And that's the first time through of that lick. Now, like I said, get that sequence under your fingers because it's the same one that we're going to use everywhere and one that you'll probably end up incorporating into your playing forever. I do it a lot. Now we're going to shift up here. With our pinky, we're going to bar the strings. And that's that clash of those two notes that I really like. So you're going to go 15 to 12 on the high E string. So you've replaced the 13 with 15, and you replace the 14 with 12. So you get this. Same sequence and pattern, but new notes have been introduced to it. So it's 15 to 12 on the high E string, and then you have to roll your index finger to get 12 on the G. And then back to that 12. So you're kind of like constantly rocking your finger. And what you can do is you can determine how much of that grit and kind of fight of the two notes that you want. So like if you just anchor your finger down the whole time and don't move it at all, don't rock it, you get this. Which is a lot of clash. Or you can rock your finger and kind of control how much those notes are fighting. Okay, so there's still a little bit of it there. I don't like it full on like all the notes, but I like to rock my finger. It's kind of like a controlled chaos. Now the next part is one of them that Jake says everyone plays wrong. And I myself played this wrong for many, many years. And I always played it like this. Which is significantly easier than how Jake is playing it. Now, the way Jake does it is a really big stretch. So if you have smaller hands, you might have to still do it the other way. But Jake goes like this. And like I said, once you hear it this way, I'm like, oh, it does sound more like the record. So you're going like this. Now, he's reaching and going from 17 to 13 on the B string. So you pull off. That's my pinky and middle finger. And then my index finger reaches to 10 on the G, getting that F note. So now you do the same sequence. So you're going to go 17. Let me turn it down a little bit. 17, 13, then 10, back to 13, 17, 13, 17, 13, 10, back to 13. Do that again. So you have... And when I'm talking about hearing it, when you do it like this, hear how it's too clean? Because you're picking this finger up each time. I suppose you could anchor it down. But again, to me, that still sounds different than this. Now, what he does is he slides it down, and you're going to do the same sequence again. You're going to hear me. My favorite word in the guitar vocabulary, sequence. 15 to 12, and then you're going to reach to 9 on the G, getting that E note. Okay, so we had this one. Now you're going to go. This one, you're simply going to go 15, pull off the 12, then 9, back to 12, and then 15, 12 twice. Back to that 9, and then back to 12. So you do the whole thing again. So and if you listen to it, there's a really cool isolated guitar track version of the song on YouTube. You can hear the notes are really fighting it out. It's not like a super pretty and clean lick by any means. And to me, it's kind of like the Jimmy Page side of Jake's playing. You know, like I can always like hear I think he was influenced by Jimmy Page. Who wasn't? But so you have that, and then you do that twice, and then there's a little ending lick that I wanted to show you too. Just not because people play it wrong, just because it's a cool lick. How does it go? Right there, I end it. He kind of like cycles it back around. But so the last note, I'm kind of adding myself. But the lick is this. So think of it all as being A natural minor, A Aeolian, whatever you want to call it. You could also view it as your C major scale. We're going to go 13, pull off 12 on the high E string. Okay? Then you're going to go to 15 on the B. So back to 12. So now the picking is a little bit funky because I go pick, pull off, pick, pick. You go back to the B string, 15, 13, and I do a pull off to 12. Then you go 14 on the G. Back to the B string, 12, 13, 12, a little trill. Or hammer on pull off, whatever you want to call it. I always call those trills. But 14, back to 12, 14, pull off 12 on a G, 14 on the D, and back up to that A note, 14th fret on the G. So someone in the comments can be like, that's not a trill is... So, I know, that's just what I always call it. So there you guys have it, a short and sweet lesson. I think it's one of Jake's coolest licks, and once you get used to hearing that clash of those notes, I'm like, oh, I can't, because I used to do it the other way too. You know, I'm like, I can't hear it that way anymore. I have to play it the other way. It is kind of a big stretch, but it just sounds better. And you can kind of hear Jake, I would assume that Jake is kind of like maxed out on how far he can stretch on that, because you can hear him kind of pulling the B string sharp a little bit, like he's pulling down. Like he's really stretching to get that note. So make sure you get the tabs, subscribe, check out the giveaway, make sure you enter that as well. If you would, check out my new course, the Pentatonic Box Breaker Workshop. And I'm gonna bounce on out of here, guys, and go play a little bit more Jake Lee. All right, I appreciate you guys. Bye.